Hello again, friends. Welcome to Gamecock Central Radio Basketball Report today with Gamecock great Joe Rhett. I'm Emerson Phillips. And, Joe, earlier this week, Frank Martin announced 6 new signees, part of this new Gamecock basketball signing class. So 4 key players lost off of the Final Four team for the 2017 season that ended a couple months ago. And Frank Martin has been busy at work trying to bring in some new players that are going to fill vacant roster spots on this Gamecock men's basketball team here. The headliner, Joe, is David Beatty, a 6'4", 200-pound guard from Philadelphia, played at Emotep Charter High School in Philly. Martin says he's a fierce competitor, a multi-skilled guard that plays much bigger than his frame actually is, and he played point and small forward during his high school career. He can score, he can get to the line, and Beatty maybe leaned on to start possibly in his freshman year, Joe.
Yes, because we're replacing some very, very tough guys. We're replacing two professional players right now, and that's hard to replace. But, you follow Frank Martin's history. You talk about he's always liked big guards that are long, rangy, strong, athletic, and those are the type of guys that he tried to centralize and bring in. And you go down under the list of the guys, you see guys from his connections from Miami. And I always try to get some of those guys from up north because he feels that those guys are a little bit tougher. We laugh, I joke with him sometime about he always say that, those guys up north are a little bit tougher up there. Which it is sometimes. Those guys are, but, hey, we got some talented guys down here in South Carolina. But, this team is filling in spots. They're filling in needs. We need guards. We lost 3 great guys, with Notice, PJ and Senderis, and those guys are definitely hard to replace. You're talking about Senderis was one of the all-time greats at the University of South Carolina, finished 3rd in scoring. So he definitely will be hard to replace, which you probably won't be able to replace. But with Frank, his recruiting is untraditional. It is a little bit different. You see a lot of his schools where kids sign so early, but for some reason, Frank always finds gems late in the year. For whatever reason, I don't know, qualifications are a problem, or some of these kids just don't sign with nobody at the time. But you've seen since Frank been here, he always finds some gem late in the year that always come in and be a tremendous help. I remember Carrera signing late with the Gamecocks, and we know about the career that he had at the University of South Carolina. So I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about the program. I know that Frank will definitely coach this team up, and a lot of new faces, definitely a lot of new faces, coming off the run that we had. But you got some good guys that are coming back, and with the need that we're filling are a bunch of guards right now. So yeah. I feel that we are very solid on the inside with Silver and Kotsar coming back.
Right.
To me, what's the key for guys to improve? You don't improve during the season. We do see improvement during the season, but you ask any basketball player, you improve during the summertime. So you have to put in the work in the summertime, getting shots up, working on your weaknesses and everything. And I'm pretty sure those guys are down there get a little bit stronger and working on the things they need to take this Gamecock team back to whatever level they need to. We want to maintain. It's going to be hard to duplicate what we did last year, but I have a lot of faith in the team. The team will definitely be competitive next year.
David Beatty, the guard from Philadelphia, the headliner of this new Gamecock basketball signing class. The Gamecocks signed 2 guards, 3 forwards, and a center here. And let's talk about some of these other players. Joe, Frank Booker, a 6'4", 200-pound guard, originally from Augusta, Georgia, played at Westside High School over in Augusta, attended Oklahoma, and he comes in as a 5th-year senior, and he'll have 1 year to play. Joe, he's got 1 year of eligibility. Martin talks about the amount of experience that he brings to the Gamecock locker room. A 3-point shooter, Frank Booker from Augusta, and played on a Sweet 16 team at Oklahoma when he was a Sooner. So he comes in a 5th-year senior, Joe, and he brings that experience to the locker room. And I think this is another guy that Frank Martin is looking to play this year. When you lose a Thornwell and a Dozier and a Dwayne Notice, that's 3 of your top players, 3 guards right there that the Gamecocks are going to try to replace. So they've got a lot of minutes available at the guard spot, and Frank Booker should come in and play right away.
That's the way college basketball is going right now. Especially when you lose such leadership as we lost this year. We got young guys. You don't want to rely on your freshmen all that much in this first year. We want to implement them in any way we can, but you don't want to rely on them. That means your program is not that solid. But that's why you go after a 5th-year senior. That's what a lot of college basketball teams are going on. with the one and done situation, they have to go after these fifth-year seniors because they have so many people they have to replace. And you want some leadership, a guy that has experience, and that's why fifth-year seniors are such a hot commodity right now because they have such experience. They've been in big programs. He comes from Oklahoma, coming to South Carolina in the SEC. He shouldn't have a problem translating. So, regardless of what you say, freshmen coming in, they're going to hit that wall. It's very difficult for a freshman to come in and come to just the adjustment. You got to learn how to manage your time and manage schoolwork, manage workouts and all that. But you got to, you got that fifth-year senior who's been through the ropes, who probably won't have that many classes left to graduate. So those guys like that bring tremendous leadership and experience. So it shouldn't be hard for them to translate coming to South Carolina.
The three forwards are Ibrahim Doumbia from Miami Country Day in South Florida, 6'8", 220. Felipe Haas, 6'10", 250, originally from Chile. He attended Miami Christian School in South Florida. And Justin Minaya from Harrington Park, New Jersey, 6'7", 190 pounds. Frank Martin has used his connections to South Florida to dip in there and sign a couple of kids in this class. We talked about Coach Martin back during the Gamecocks Final Four run in March. He coached varsity high school basketball 13 years in Miami, so he's still got a lot of connections down there, obviously, and he's recruiting that area heavily for Gamecock basketball. Doumbia from Miami Country Day, originally from Mali, and Felipe Haas from Miami, Florida Christian School. Two kids that are going to come in and bring some size to this Gamecock roster. Doumbia 6'8", Haas is 6'10", and Minaya from New Jersey, a 6'7", 190-pound forward whose father evaluates basketball talent for a living. So he's grown up around basketball, and I think Frank Martin's excited about all three of these players.
Yes, and why not you? You're talking about one of the most respectable college coaches out there, and that's Frank Martin. He has so much respect throughout the coaching industry, from high school all the way to college. So many different guys respect him so much. So why not use his coaching, his whatever, and go down to Miami and use some of his connections and get some of these guys to come to South Carolina. And some of these guys, of course, like I say, he finds gems. Somehow he finds gems, and he finds guys that I wouldn't consider normally say projects, but he developed those big guys. You've seen the Lithuanians when they first got here several years ago and how they grew, and you see Silver now, how his game has gotten so much better. And it just comes from Frank pushing these guys and working them out and developing with, some of them come in so raw. They do come in a little raw, and he sees the talent in those guys that he can develop, and that's what you see. And that's what you continue to see. That's what Frank does with these guys. He just develops them in that. And I'm not surprised that I wouldn't be surprised that in a year or two that 7-footer or the other big kids come in and be an intricate part of this Gamecock squad the next couple of years.
Just one in-state signee in this class, Joe, and it's Jason Cudd, the 7'1" center from Socastee High School in Myrtle Beach. And Frank Martin says he's the biggest player that he's ever recruited. Martin says that Cudd's got an understanding of how to play in the low post, which is a good fit for the Gamecock system, soft hands and the ability to shoot in the low post. And Martin says that Cudd has the potential to be a very good basketball player. Frank likes him already, Joe. I know some basketball people in Myrtle Beach who don't believe that Cudd is an SEC-level player right now. So some would say maybe he's a bit of a project. Frank Martin doesn't look at him that way, Joe. He says that he never recruits a kid that he doesn't believe can play right away. So Frank Martin is looking at Jason Cudd, a 7'1", 17-year-old Joe who, Martin thinks is a good fit for the Gamecock offense, and Cudd talked about the way the Gamecocks use their big men. Both Cudd and Frank Martin feel like it's a good fit for both parties. So Cudd's an interesting signee, Joe. Don't know, what the future holds for him or how big a role he might have, but at 7'1", man, you can't teach a kid to be that tall.
You take the words out of my mouth. I said you can't teach height, and within the SEC, you don't see a lot of 7-footers out there. So at that height, he can at least be a rim protector, or like you say, you got soft hands and catch around the basket and possibly finish. 7'1", hey, you just can't teach that. But I look forward to getting down there and catching a couple of workouts this summer, and also they will have the program coming up in the 1st of July, and I get to see some of these guys. A lot of fans will be able to get out and get to see some of the new Gamecocks. I think they will be all. Frank usually traditionally have those guys come in on the second session of summer school where they can get in and get a class or two in and get used to the college system, and also be able to play in the program where they can work on their game, where they can play some clean, good basketball. And I always enjoy going out there and talking to some of the guys and just, getting to know some of them a little bit and watching, coming in and watching them in their first couple of games and watching them develop over the years. It's always a pleasure.
All right, the Gamecocks have got several players, 3 players that have left the program. Tamarcus Blanton, Rand Tutt, and C.D. Keita have left the program. Ra Felder playing for the U.S. national team this summer. Hassani Gravett will be back at guard. But obviously, with the loss of Thornwell, Dozier, and Notice, the Gamecocks are looking for some guards who can play. So David Beatty and Frank Booker, part of this new Gamecock signing class. 3 forwards, and the center, Jason Cudd, part of this new class as well. Joe, I tell you what, with the Pro-Am coming up 1st of July, that'll be fun and a chance to check out some of these new Gamecock players. But I don't ever remember so much energy being around Gamecock men's basketball. Joe, the Final Four run and now the drafting of Sendarius Thornwell into the NBA and a free agent opportunity for P.J. Dozier with the Lakers, all this has breathed new life into Gamecock men's basketball, and it seems like the program's just got a tremendous amount of energy, and they're making a lot of progress right now. Joe, it feels like Gamecock basketball could be good for years to come.
And I hope we can continue to, the fans can continue to support and help. The fans helps a lot when that arena, that CLA is full with 18,000, 19,000, yelling strong, coming together, bringing these guys together and just uplifting this team. It helps so much, and hopefully we can continue this momentum. And it's not a one-time thing that we did last year. Of course, we've never been to the Final Four before, but I don't expect us to be just this one time going to the NCAA. Not under Frank Martin. I think it will continue. He's still excited, and I just hope we can continue to ride this wave and ride this momentum, and let's get the guys to get in and work. It's not easy. College basketball is not easy. You have to put in a lot of work on the off season to improve your game, and once you improve your game, you improve the team. So I look forward to, like I said, getting down there and watching some of these guys and watching them grow over the years, and hopefully we can get back in the tournament. It could be a regular thing for us right now. So it's just an exciting time. Exciting time off the NCAA and with the draft, like you said, and we can just continue this buzz. And I would love for this team to just keep growing and want us to be a program. It's not many, you got a lot of one and done teams out there, but I want to be a program like North Carolina, Kentucky, that those teams been going for years, and hopefully we can keep Frank here, and with his leadership and with his willingness and his fire and passion for this Gamecock program, we can continue to use that and get some good players in here.
Yeah.
And we can continue to make runs.
I think a lot of folks are wondering, particularly nationally, if Frank Martin captured lightning in a bottle with the Gamecocks with the Final Four run back in March. Can South Carolina achieve sustained success? That's the question that remains to be answered. 6 new Gamecocks brought on board, part of Frank Martin's new signing class for Gamecock men's basketball. Joe, great talking hoops with you. We appreciate your time and your insight today. Thank you, brother.
Anytime, my man. Look forward to the season. Look forward to talking to you again, buddy.
All right, we'll do it again soon. That's Gamecock great Joe Rhett. Plenty more Gamecock basketball to come here on Gamecock Central Radio. I'm Emerson Phillips. Thanks for joining us.